Jennie is one of the most successful solo artists in K-pop right now. Her first full album, Ruby, sold over 1 million copies globally in its first week. Number 7 on the Billboard 200. Number 3 in the UK, the highest charting album by a female K-pop soloist ever. She's headlining festivals, selling out tours, and breaking records left and right. The numbers keep climbing. Except there's something people aren't seeing. Behind every achievement, behind every sold-out show, there's a pattern that never quite gets discussed. She's exploring new sounds, cutting her hair, changing her image. And with each move, the questions get louder. Is this growth, or is she lost? Is she finding herself, or losing BLACKPINK? Each milestone celebrated, while the deeper tension gets brushed aside. This isn't just about Jennie's solo success. It's about what happens when an artist who is molded to be perfect finally gets the freedom to be imperfect. Everyone wants to put Jennie in a box. Some say she's abandoning BLACKPINK for solo fame. Others say she's finally becoming her authentic self. Some say she's confused and doesn't know who she is anymore. But what if all of them are missing the point entirely? By the end of this video, you'll understand why Jennie's real story isn't about choosing between Ruby and BLACKPINK at all. It's about a woman who spent her entire life becoming someone else's vision, and is now brave enough to admit she doesn't have all the answers. And that changes everything. To understand where Jennie is now, you need to understand where she started. She was 14 years old when she came back to Korea from New Zealand and auditioned for YG Entertainment in 2010. She performed Rihanna's Take a Bow and got in. Just like that, her childhood was over. 6 years. That's how long Jennie trained before she debuted with BLACKPINK, the longest of any member in the group. 6 years of constant evaluations, constant pressure, constant watching. She recently opened up about what those years were really like, and it wasn't what fans imagine when they think of the glamorous trainee life. The evaluations were brutal, she said. It wasn't just about getting a score. Every time evaluations happened, friends would leave. And at that age, it was really difficult to accept. She said she had to learn to be competitive when she should have been learning to receive and give love. That's not a critique of the system. That's just what it cost her. But here's the thing. Jennie was good. Really good. So good that YG started featuring her in other artists' music videos and songs before she even debuted. She became one of the most well-known trainees in the company. Fans were thrilled when she was finally confirmed for BLACKPINK, but Jennie later admitted on a variety show that she didn't think she would ever debut. She was terrified. 6 years of molding. 6 years of being told how to rap, how to sing, how to dress, how to move, how to be Korea's it girl. By the time she debuted at 20 years old, Jennie wasn't just talented. She was perfect, polished, exactly what YG wanted her to be. But here's the question nobody asked back then. Who was Jennie underneath all of that? Because when you spend your entire adolescence becoming someone else's vision, when you're trained to be the delicate girl and the independent woman and the elegant, luxurious face of a brand, when do you get to figure out who you actually are? The answer is, you don't. Not yet. And that's where the paradox begins. Because the thing that made Jennie successful, the training, the discipline, the perfection, is the same thing that's making it so hard for her to find herself now. She was built to be BLACKPINK's Jennie. But what happens when she wants to be just Jennie? After months of negotiations, BLACKPINK renewed their contract with YG Entertainment. Fans celebrated. The group was staying together. But then came the twist that nobody saw coming. All four members, Jennie, Jisoo, Lisa, and Rosé, declined to renew their individual contracts with YG. They would stay as BLACKPINK for group activities, but for solo work, they were leaving. YG's statement was carefully diplomatic. "We will do our utmost to support BLACKPINK's activities and will cheer on the members' individual activities with warm hearts." But let's be real, this wasn't just a business decision. This was four women who had been controlled by the same company since they were teenagers, finally saying, "We'll stay for the group, but our solo careers, those are ours." For Jennie, this was huge. She didn't just leave YG, she founded her own label in November 2023 called OA, which stands for ODD Atelier. The mission statement read, "A space that aims to create new things that attract attention in a different way from what is usual or expected." Different from what is usual or expected. Think about that. For someone who spent 6 years being trained to be exactly what was expected, this was a declaration of independence. She announced it on Instagram with genuine excitement. "I'm so thankful for all the love I've received. I'm also excited about what's to come as I start my solo journey in 2024 with a company that I have established called OA." And fans were thrilled. The website crashed from traffic. Her announcement got millions of likes. This was Jennie finally in control of her own narrative. But here's where things get complicated. Because after the initial excitement wore off, after the congratulations and the hype died down, Jennie had to face a question she'd never really dealt with before. Now what? For her entire career, someone else had been making the decisions. What songs to release, what concepts to pursue, what image to project. And now suddenly, it was all on her. She was the CEO. She was the artist. She was the creative director. She was everything. And in interviews following the launch of OA, something interesting started happening. Jennie, who had always been poised and confident in public, started admitting she didn't have all the answers. She talked about wanting to explore her voice, to get deeper vocally, to discover new sides of herself. But there was an uncertainty there. Not weakness, uncertainty. The kind that comes when you've been following a script your whole life, and suddenly the script is gone. She even revealed that she named her first solo album Ruby, after an alter ego she created when she moved to New Zealand as a kid. Ruby was the version of Jennie that could be free, that could be different. But here's the paradox. She created OA to finally be herself, to break free from being molded. But after spending her entire life as BLACKPINK's Jennie, she wasn't entirely sure who just Jennie actually was. Freedom is supposed to feel liberating. But sometimes, when you've been told what to do for so long, freedom can feel like falling. And Jennie was about to find out just how hard that landing would be. March 7th, 2025. Ruby dropped. And immediately, Jennie proved everyone wrong who doubted she could carry a full album on her own. Over 1 million copies sold globally in the first week. Top 10 in 19 countries. Number 7 on the Billboard 200. Number 3 in the UK. The highest charting album by a female K-pop soloist ever. By every measurable metric, Ruby was a massive success. But here's where the paradox kicks in. Because the more successful Ruby became, the louder the questions got. What does this mean for BLACKPINK? See, Jennie wasn't the first BLACKPINK member to go solo. All 4 members were now operating under different labels, managing their own solo careers, while somehow trying to stay unified as a group. And YG Entertainment, in a rare moment of honesty, admitted what everyone was thinking. The fragmented management model makes it difficult to maintain a unified image for BLACKPINK. 4 solo stars under 4 different labels trying to come back as one group? That's a logistical nightmare. But it's more than logistics. It's identity. Because here's the thing about being in a group. You're part of something bigger than yourself. BLACKPINK's power came from 4 distinct personalities creating something unified. Together, they were unstoppable. But now they're all trying to be solo stars. And the more Jennie succeeds as Ruby, the harder it becomes to go back to being Jennie from BLACKPINK. International fans wanted Jennie to be free, to be bold, to be herself. Korean fans wanted her to remember where she came from, to be mindful of her image, to stay true to the elegant persona she built. And Jennie was stuck in the middle. She's trying to grow up. She's exploring who she is beyond the image YG created. But K-pop doesn't always let you grow up. The industry wants you to stay young, stay cute, stay safe. Ruby was supposed to be her moment of freedom, her chance to finally be just Jennie. But instead, it created a new problem. How do you be a solo star and a group member at the same time? To save BLACKPINK, she has to be a team player. To find herself, she has to be an individual. And here's the brutal truth. In 2026, BLACKPINK is scheduled for a group comeback, which means Jennie is about to face the ultimate test. Can she be both? And right now, even Jennie doesn't know the answer. So what's the Jennie Paradox? It's not about choosing between solo and group. It's not about Korean fans versus international fans. It's not even about Ruby versus BLACKPINK. It's about something way deeper. But somewhere along the way, she never got to ask the question, who am I, when no one's telling me who to be? And now, at 30, with all the freedom she fought for, she's finally asking it. And that's terrifying. Because for the first time in her life, there's no script, no evaluation, no one telling her if she's doing it right. Most people get to stumble through their identity crisis in private. Jennie has to do it with millions of people watching, judging, and having opinions about every single choice she makes. Cut your hair? The internet has thoughts. Try a new sound? Fans debate if it's really you. Take a break? People wonder if you're lazy. Work too hard? They worry you're burning out. What she's doing right now, the exploring, the experimenting, the admitting she doesn't have all the answers, that's not weakness. That's courage. Because it takes more bravery to say, I don't know, than to pretend you have it all figured out. Ruby isn't the final answer. BLACKPINK's 2026 comeback won't be the final answer either. This is a journey, not a destination. And Jennie is giving herself permission to be lost while she figures it out. Maybe that's the real lesson here. We spend so much time expecting artists to have everything together, to know exactly who they are and what they want. But the truth is, most of us are still figuring it out too. Jennie just has the courage to admit it out loud. When Jennie has to navigate being both Ruby and Jennie from BLACKPINK, remember this: she's not failing, she's evolving. And evolution is messy. The Jennie Paradox isn't a problem that needs solving. It's proof that she's finally living, finally choosing, finally becoming. And that's something worth celebrating. What do you think? Is Jennie finding herself or losing herself in all this freedom? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives like this, subscribe, because the story is just beginning.